All right, we're live-ish.
Can you see it?
Oh, hold on, let me go back to Skype. Not Skype Hangouts. I see the wedding ring.
Yes, yeah, I got her on, so.
Does it feel weird yet?
No, not at all. Actually, it feels normal. Actually, the only time it feels weird is when I'm playing video games and, like, I'll hit, like, on a remote. Like that, it's the only time it feels weird. Like, oh, shit, there's something there.
Ashley's Black Friday and July event is going on now. Shop and save today. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
So, how about that Volvo testing today?
You mean the disaster?
Yep. Clint Boyer had the best interview on NASCAR America. Fun, do you want the remote? Sure. Twitter. Well, 8 o'clock SmackDown's on, so. The hell is this thing anyway?
It goes to the night.
In the cat's bedroom? Okay. See how much they own for that.
And the All-Star games tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I got that on in the background. Alright, ready to get this thing kicked off?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, I gotta open up Stream Deck.
7:45.
Gotta get my last little bit of nicotine in.
Yeah, I got my water ready.
Alright, starting the intro.
If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode podcast. I'm your host, AJ. With me, as always, my co-host, the newlywed, Double R, Ryan Rincola. Ryan, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic, AJ. How you doing, my friend? I don't know if y'all can get a shot of that, but yeah, there she be. That's the ring.
I gotta
what a
say,
weekend.
That's probably the most exciting thing that happened this weekend.
I think it was too. So Thursday night or Thursday afternoon, we get home from work and we have a fire pit on our back porch that somebody got us for a gift. So we're having a fire, and I totally forgot the truck race was on. Luckily, I recorded it and everything like that. So that's how I watched the truck race today. And Friday, woke up early, got everything set up out at the where we had the reception at on Saturday. Friday, got home. Everybody came over. Very short and sweet ceremony. Is about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes at the most ceremony. Afterwards, went out to a nice dinner with some of the family and friends that came out, had some fun with us. Saturday, woke up, went out to the reception. I still had to be dressed up for a little while, and Sarah had her dress on, everything like that, and partied Saturday, came home, saw the from stage 2 onto the cup race. Didn't miss much.
No, you didn't miss much at all.
But like I said, I know we got some of the listeners that were at the wedding. Thanks again, guys, for coming out. Respect, love, all that good stuff. Thank you again.
Wow, Tony, your best man, who's in the group chat, the YouTube chat, goes, Saturday Ryan woke up, breaking news.
Yeah, I did wake up. I'm surprised I woke up early Sunday because I partied a little bit Saturday. The wife looked at me and she's like, "Yeah, you did party a little bit too much." So
I mean, we had some crazy things this weekend between your wedding, racing, Extreme Rules Sunday.
Oh, don't get me started on that. I think it was the worst pay-per-view of the year by far.
At least Roman Reigns didn't win, right?
Nobody won yesterday. And Bobby Lashley won, so the winner of that match faces Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam.
See, I don't care until pay-per-views come on. I mean, unless we're close to Mania.
Yeah.
The World Cup, too, as Tony says, France winning the World Cup, which snoozer after France went up 4-1.
I didn't even know it was I totally forgot the World Cup game was on. All I know is France won because I saw people partying in the streets.
Yeah. The French were happy, to say the least. I wanted Croatia to win. I don't know who you wanted to win.
I'd have picked France.
Of course you would have. You have to go against everything I do.
Well, no, I'm part Finnish, so I went with France.
Did you say you're part Finnish, so you went with France?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, that's a great analogy.
Yeah, it works.
So we got some changes coming up on here, and
right.
But by that I mean I'm getting a new mic for next episode.
You're getting a new microphone.
Took advantage of the Prime Day. Prime Day was yesterday.
Oh, on Amazon? I totally forgot about that was on there. So
how can you forget? It's like the greatest shopping day a year.
I totally forgot about it.
This week has just been such a blur already, and it's only Tuesday.
Yeah.
It feels like it's Friday.
I'll tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm ready for tomorrow evening myself.
Tomorrow, the best truck race every year.
Yeah, actually the best race all year.
And, with the potential of getting the Xfinity cars in there, it could be... This track could be popping for the next couple of years.
Tell you what, the Xfinity cars go down there. I know I want to go down. I wanted to go down there this year for the truck race. Obviously, stuff comes up where, can't really do that. So it's like, I'll probably go down there next year. Check it out, because it's only a 3-hour drive from my house.
Oh, well, that's not bad at all.
And then Tony never bought an item from Amazon in my life. How about that? Well, he's not the only one, so.
Really? You haven't either?
Never.
What is wrong with you?
It's
like the easiest way to do shopping.
What's wrong with me? I don't know what's wrong with me anymore, so. But yeah, how was your weekend there, AJ? I mean, I know obviously the racing and all that good stuff. Did you do anything fun?
Not really. It was a lot of watching the races, and this weekend was decent. The racing really brought me down. Like I didn't think it was all that fantastic this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because of the repave, the second repave, or what it is. Like when I went with Jeff and his wife Amy, I had a blast at Kentucky. I thought the racing was good. There was multiple grooves, multiple lanes. Now it's just a 1-lane track. They try to use that stupid tire thing. Yep. Don't get me started on that, because that's my rant for later this evening.
Well, we've already gone over doctoring tracks and my stance on that.
I can't stand it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of what they do with the VHT and tire drawings, but like you said, you got in your rant, so I don't want to get into it right now.
Exactly.
But
Tony, it's Alex Hunter.
let's move a little bit closer to the rant. Let's get started, gas and go. Let's recap some Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know why, and those of you that are tuning in to the stream, tell me if it is the case. All the sound effects sound so quiet on my headphones right now. Usually it's way louder, and I can't hear them.
Hey, at least you can hear the sound effects.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
hear the sound. I don't hear the sound effects when you play them.
Like,
there's a commercial.
I just thought that was really quiet.
There's that commercial again on TV. It's a Holiday Inn commercial. And at the end of it, the little girl gets a balloon. I never, ever gone to a hotel and got a balloon.
All right, going over Kentucky. Here we got the Camping World Truck Series. All 3 series were in Kentucky this weekend. And Ryan, hometown driver, hometown boy, Ben Rhodes, wins Kentucky.
Awesome to see him. Man, did he have one heck of a burnout there. The crew chief was going crazy on the pit box. And how cool is that to see a hometown kid win at the hometown track? Like to see Kozlowski do it one day, but we'll wait and see for that. But awesome to see for Ben Rhodes.
First one of the season, too.
Yeah, first one of the season. And you know how you said if things are going to change in the Truck Series playoffs now? Now that Ben Rhodes is in it now, he's had some, hiccup here or there. But watch out.
Yeah, I think, the Truck Series is a really interesting playoff scenario that they're coming into.
Yep.
You've got 4 drivers, I feel, with Sauter, Rhodes. I'm adding Rhodes. Rhodes would be the bottom half of this, but Gregson, Moffitt, that I really think can put in a pretty decent run at the championship.
I think any one of them 4 can win it.
And I mean, think about it. The last couple of years, we've only had 1 or 2 guys, and it's usually Johnny Sauter and whoever's in the KVM truck, the top KVM truck.
Yep.
But this season, it feels like we're heading in a direction where we really could have a 4-driver chance at Homestead.
That should be good. With those 4 drivers coming down to it at Homestead, Talladega is going to be the issue again, as it normally is with the truckers. So whoever can avoid that big one.
Yeah, and I don't know if Talladega is still an elimination race for them.
I'm not sure if it is or not. So hopefully we'll get some more information on that here soon.
But I always love when restricted plate track is the elimination race, just because of the fact of it's so unpredictable. And I know people hate it, but
Oh, I love it.
It really adds so much interest to what's going on in the playoffs and adds to the dramatics of it.
Oh, yeah.
So I like Talladega as an elimination race.
I
know
do
they
too.
changed it this year to the Roval, which is going to be another crapshoot, I feel, especially after today.
Yeah, we'll dive into that a little bit because one Clint Boyer said it best, but like I said, I want to get into that later once we'll do the news segment.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, let's go over how Ben Rhodes got here to the win on Friday. No, Thursday.
Yeah, no, Thursday. Yeah.
Basically came down to pit road strategy.
I've never seen it. Like, I've seen it, obviously, but for Friesen, who took 2 tires, and Rose, who just took gas only, and was able to hold the lead, I'm surprised the 2 tires didn't come into play more effectively than what they did.
You know, with about 7 laps to go, Friesen had that lead down to, I think it was 0.6 of a second, and he was gaining. I mean, he was starting to catch up to Rhodes, and it seemed like the tires finally came in. And it just, as the laps ticked off, and it was about 4 to go, his lead gained out to a 1 second lead, and it was like, at that point, it was over. Rhodes was off to the races on that.
I think Friesen may just use the tires a little bit too much just to try to get up there, knowing that Rose only took fuel instead of tires. I'm sure the crew chief of Friesen, hey, he didn't take any tires so we can get him. Probably used up all of his stuff. Rose saved a little in the tank, pulled away, and got the win.
I mean, here's a little foreshadowing for Eldora this weekend, judging by how he did last year.
Oh, Friesen?
Yeah, I'm going to spoil it now and say I'm picking Friesen for the Truck Series tomorrow night. Well, Wednesday night, whenever you listen to this.
Fine, you're going right there. I am going to go with... Give me Brett Moffitt to get it done. Yeah,
you know, I really. I'll get into this later. It's a whole stretch I want to talk about
because I know they got Newman's driving for Jordan Anderson.
Yeah. So, Ryan.
Yep.
We had an opening fireworks in this race, this truck race. John Hunter Nemechek and Tyler Matthews getting together. Matthews out of the race at this point. Nemechek rebounded for a 5th place finish.
Yeah, on lap 1.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like...
Well, not even lap 1, half a lap.
Yeah, they didn't even get, I think, 500 feet past the start-finish line. And it was on. Everything got all backed up.
And after that, excuse me, I got the hiccups going right now, fellas. But after that, and ladies, and after that, the race just calmed down after that lap 1 incident.
Yeah, it kind of fell off in a sense of, like, I mean, the battle for the lead at the end was great. But it kind of did what I thought every race this weekend did in an entertainment value. It just kind of slid off. And I don't know if it's because the week before we were spoiled with some great racing at Daytona, restricted plate racing, everyone packed up, a ton of passing. To a track like Kentucky with the repave, not much passing going on.
Yep.
You get the lead, and it's like you can't get it taken away from you until you get to the Xfinity race, which we'll dive into here in a second.
Yep.
But speaking of getting out front and dominating, Noah Gragson dominated this race, I thought, for pretty much 95% of this race, and just he couldn't pull it off late. Finished pretty deep in the field, if I do remember.
Yeah, he did. Hold on.
Noah Gragson finished 8th, so not so deep in the field, but it
not
was down there.
One. Exactly.
It wasn't the finish that I thought his race should have got.
With having a dominant truck like that, you're easily top 3, top 2.
Yeah, and especially in a series where you get like 5 guys who can really compete, and then the competition slides off a little bit.
Exactly.
And Gragson being in a KBM truck, it's like that is synonymous with winning truck championships and races, always having the best truck out there week in, week out.
Oh, yeah.
It just seems this year Gragson can't get there. He's been there once or twice, I think, this season in the win column. But if you look, he could have had more wins. He had the move at, I think it was Dover, where he dove down to the inside.
Came right back up the track and smacked the wall. Yep.
Yeah, and he's at another race that was like that. I can't remember the race it was this season where you
Iowa or was it Kansas? Maybe?
I want to say it was Iowa.
Yeah, one of the two.
That's where I thought the other one was, but Gregson's still though one of those 4 drivers I think that can really throw Sauter and Moffitt a run for the championship.
Exactly. I definitely think, like you said, Gregson's easily one of the top 4. And now with this Ben Rose one, man, he may win the whole thing right now. You got to think, man, if you're a driver, you're going to your home track. You've had great trucks, but mechanical issues caught up in somebody else's business. And now to get the win on your home track, you know the momentum that's going to do for this kid?
Oh, yeah, it's going to spark a lot. And, going to Eldora, a track that we've used this term twice now already, but it's another one of those crapshoot kind of races. You just got to be right place, right time.
Exactly. I mean, what dirt ringers are going to be on this track? I know Kyle Busch, KBM Motorsports, got an older dirt race veteran to drive one of the trucks this weekend.
It's just interesting. Like Eldora is interesting because you see different names up front all the time. And,
yeah, exactly.
And this truck race was nice because I don't think there was any Cup regulars in this one.
Oh, the Kentucky? No, there was not.
So, I mean, it's a great product that they're putting out there when I feel you don't have any of those Cup guys in there. But like you said, it kind of fell off after that first wreck. There's only 3 cautions in this race, and it was for the 2 stage breaks and then the lap 1 incident. The race as a whole was only an hour and a half.
Yeah, I know. I set my DVR because I knew we had to go out and get a few things done prior to Friday's festivities. That I put because I think it said it started at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. I put it to like almost 11:30 to stop.
Wow, so you recorded a lot of post race.
I recorded a ton of post race stuff. I mean, the post race was like, because we get home, I got in from the fire and everything like that, and they're doing the post race, and I'm like, and the crowd's emptied and all that. And I'm like, did it rain? Is it raining?
Brian came in drunk and confused.
No, not drunk, but just like
feeling good.
What's going on? Like, why is this race over? And then all of a sudden, I got my answer. Like, that would be why.
Yeah, it was a really quick race. I missed the first stage and a half. And when I'm scrolling through Facebook on Thursday, and I saw that it was a battle between Friesen and Rhodes, I was like, what? I flipped on the race, and it was 25 or so many laps to go, and it was really this went quick.
Yeah, oh yeah, it flew by, and that's the thing I do like about the truck races a lot. Like, you got to think Thursday night, Friday, people got to work Friday. I mean, there's occasional people like to take the Friday off, get a nice little 3-day weekend, like myself. But it was done, like you said, an hour and a half race. That's perfect. Yeah, 235 laps, and I think the final stage was 80.
That's what you got to think about. Say NASCAR in the Cup Series goes to some weekday races. It wouldn't hurt to do these shorter mileage races. Get the racing done a little bit quicker. Send people to bed so they're not tired for work the next day.
That's the thing, though. I don't think they want to get rid of these 400 miles or the 500 miles on the 1.5 mile tracks. They don't want to do that.
I'll tell you, the 400 miles this weekend, I thought was too many. So, your stage winners, Ryan. Ben Rhodes, first stage. Second stage, Noah Gragson. Your eventual race winner was Ben Rhodes. Your top 5, Ben Rhodes, Stuart Friesen, Matt Crafton. Great run for Crafton, by the way. It's been a couple weeks since we've been able to mention him in the top 3. Brandon Jones and John Hunter Nemechek. Got your notable finishers. 10th place was my pick, Justin Haley. Your pick, Ryan, finished second with Stuart Friesen.
Second, yep.
15th place was Johnny Sauter, and 18th was Brett Moffitt. So tough run for the guys who were way ahead in the standings, already in the next round. But At this point, you're logging laps, trying to get some information, and if you win, you win.
Yeah, exactly.
Your playoff standings following Kansas. I've been saying Kansas all day. It's Kentucky, but I've been saying Kansas even at work.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. At least it starts with the same letter.
Yeah, I mean, hooked on final style. I'm kind of getting it.
Yeah, it could be.
Your standings, though, following Kentucky: Johnny Sauter, Brett Moffitt, Noah Gregson, Ben Rhodes, Justin Haley, Stuart Friesen, Grant Infinger, and Matt Crafton. Your next race is Wednesday night, which is either today, if you're listening when this debuts on podcast platforms everywhere, or it might have already passed by the time you hear this, but it's the Mud Summer Classic, Eldora, Wednesday night, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern on FS1.
The Dirt Derby, the best race.
I call it the Mud Summer Classic. I know they changed it to the Dirt Derby.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool because it always takes place the day after the Midsummer Classic, which the All-Star.
Yeah, the All-Star. You know what they should do? I think they should actually put it. I know the race is on FS1. Put it on Fox. There is no sports on tomorrow night. I think the ESPYs are tomorrow night, or is that Thursday? The ESPYs.
Such a boring show.
Oh, the ESPYs?
Yeah. I haven't watched the ESPYs in years.
You know who's going to win the driver of the year is Truex Jr., so.
Really? I thought they would have put Danica in there, seeing how she was a nominee.
She could be involved in it. Who knows? So, but yeah, why not put it on Fox Wednesday night? Look at the ratings.
Yeah, this truck race at Eldora, I want to see what it compares to with some certain Cup races, because this Eldora race is one that you can't miss. Even if you're a casual fan, like, this is something so unique. Trucks that we race on asphalt week in, week out, throwing them on dirt, getting them sideways a little bit. It's back to the glory days of racing. That's why I love I love watching the ARCA Series races. They'll put ARCA races because they run on dirt as well, and they run on some little less than half-mile short tracks. But that's why I love that form of racing right there. Dirt racing. Oh man, if I didn't have to work Thursday, and then if the budget allowed, we would have been down in Eldora. Oh, I'm telling you though, if there's ever a Cup race that takes place there, sign me up, dude. I think Xfinity only. You never know. I mean, even if it was a non-points race. Do the All-Star race there one year. Good idea. I'm good with that one. Thank you. I'm good with that one. Let's move on to the Xfinity Series, Ryan. Yes. Christopher Bell gets a win at Kentucky. It was only a matter of time before he got another win this season, because that car has been awesome all year. Yes, it has. And I tell you what, Kyle dominated that race. I went through the half I missed of it. He dominated that race. There's a couple of incidents where Custer was side by side with him. Hemrick caught him, couldn't pass him. John Hunter Nemechek did pass him. I know we're going to get to that a little bit for the stage win. But then when Bell passed him, I'm like, there's the winner right there. This race, Kyle's car's falling out. This race, Ryan, probably race of the weekend, like we discussed a couple nights ago, you and I. It had great battles all race long. And this is where I thought it differed from the trucks in the Cup race. But what you just said to me was the story of this race besides Christopher Bell winning. You had John Hunter Nemechek on the green flag. This isn't due to green flag pit stops, or coming off a restart. John Hunter Nemechek passed him clean on a green flag run for the lead. And he wasn't the only one. When I saw Hemrick come up through there and take the lead, like, that's something. That's an accomplishment right there, because how many races has Kyle Busch won in the Xfinity Series? It's been a crap load. Over 92 or 93, I think they said. Because they're, for some reason now, and I don't mind they're doing this, but they'll do like whoever's in the top 7, and they'll do the wins they have. Like Kyle Busch had 92, Bell had 1 or 2, Hemrick,
they show how many wins they have and all that.
Yeah, I thought the fact that you have two young guys who don't have cup rides, but are full-time Xfinity, well, except for Nemechek. Nemechek's not so much full-time Xfinity. He's kind of half Xfinity, half truck, in a sense.
Yeah.
But to have these kind of guys drive up there and pass a cup champion, almost 200 wins, asterisk.
Oh, yeah.
Almost 200 wins, and you were going up there competing with him at a track that he's pretty good at.
Oh, yeah. That's why he ran the Xfinity race. He loves that track.
So, Kyle had the best car, hands down.
I thought Hunter Nemechek close second.
But, it all comes down to a late race pit stop where Kyle had a 17-second pit stop that he just couldn't afford at that time.
Nope.
And it cost him dearly.
Yes, it did. And I tell you what, there was watching the race, there was a kid. Yeah, he had a couple of issues, but Ty Majeski, that kid can drive the wheels off that race car.
He just seems like he's a really aggressive racer.
Yeah,
I mean, if you watch closely, he's a really aggressive racer, so he takes some chances that may not be there all the time. And he might smack the wall a couple times, but that's how you learn.
Hell, he even pits going down the opposite way on pit road.
I mean, I've seen that happen a couple times.
No, I
think it was him this season a couple times.
It was him. It was him on Friday night. He came down pit road, pit backwards. Sarah and I are watching it because we had just gotten home, and I just turned it on, and he spun through the grass and all that, and I'm like, oh, NASCAR's not going to be happy with that.
Hey, if the car's fully in the box, you can pit it.
Yeah, exactly. Like when the car spins out coming down pit road, there you go.
Hey, it's on the rules that you can't pit it that way.
No, not at all.
So, you said Nemechek had a great car. Allgaier, Custer, all three of those I thought had great cars. I thought Allgaier really had a car that could have won this race. He dominated the second stage for the most part. And it just seemed like after stage 2, he kind of fell off to a 4th, 5th kind of spot and just couldn't carry himself out of that hole.
Yeah, exactly.
And I lost my train of thought where I was going with this. Well, Nemechek's day. That's what I was getting at. Nemechek's day was ruined when he got into an accident with Brandon Jones.
Yeah, and then he lost power right after the contact.
Nothing he could have done there to prevent it.
No, it's a racing deal. That's a racing deal there.
But the only two races John Hunter Nemechek ran this weekend, he was involved in an accident, but he didn't get taken out.
No.
So it's a good way to salvage a day that could have been way worse, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Of course.
Elliott Sadler also gets in the wall.
Yep.
And that was a weird little racing deal there.
Go ahead.
I was waiting for you to say
something. You were just like, yeah.
You looked at me, you stared off into space. I was like, what?
I stare into space quite a bit, so. But yeah, Sadler hit the wall pretty good, hard. There's a couple altercations on track in the Xfinity race.
I mean, it was the most eventful on track for collisions and drivers getting into each other during the weekend because the Cup race didn't have nearly as many.
Nope. But yeah, like we said earlier, I thought the Xfinity race was the race of the weekend. Like you said, you had good battles, not only late in the race for the stages for the stage wins, but then you had great battles throughout the bag, like Custer, all that. Tyler Reddick, Ryan Reed. Ryan Reed finishing 8th. There's a notable finisher right there for you. I don't know if you have him down there, so I just thought I'd throw that out there.
I actually think I did.
Oh, man. I stealing your thunder.
No, I didn't actually.
All right, good. There you go.
Yeah, it just seemed like this race had a lot of the good battles. It had everything for even a casual fan to watch.
Well, of course.
And just on a side note, did you see Justin Allgaier's car?
I did.
The Dale Jr. Whiskey River paint scheme they had on there. I thought that was cool. I always love like the matte black gray finishes on cars.
And then Junior announcing it on TV too, which was awesome.
Yeah, it's gotta be a little weird that when you're calling a race and you call out your own name as a sponsor.
Yeah.
Your stage.
Well, it's gotta be weird for him too, especially seeing his Junior Motorsports team out there. And I've noticed this. I don't know if you have, but does he really show any bias towards those cars?
Think he does. I mean, there's certain times where Steve Letarte has asked him about one of his drivers, and he's like, well, all the teams at Junior Motorsports work hard, and he knows that for a fact, and all that type of stuff. So he's not biased, but I guess when he's asked about it, he answers it truthfully from an owner standpoint, which you can't ask for anything more than that.
Exactly.
But Brett Daugherty, I didn't think ever showed any bias when he was.
No. Oh, when he was in the pit studio for ESPN. Yeah. Gordon shows a little bit of bias towards Hendrick Motorsports for obvious reasons, but
yeah, Chase Elliott could be running 23rd, a blown tire, no right side of his car, and he'll be like, "This is my one to watch, Chase Elliott, the 9 car."
yeah. Or William Byron taking 2 tires. Man, he's in the lead now. Man, what's that 24 car?
I'll tell you the kid I like here. That Alex Bowman in the 88. He's running 30th right now. Watch him to make a run here.
Or it's like, oh man, I forgot. Oh man, it was great. It was. I think it was definitely a restrictor plate. Danica's up in the top 3. Oh no, it was Daytona. It was Daytona the year Kurt Busch won it. Danica's running 3rd. They do the ones to watch on Fox, and here's DW. Man, I tell you what, you gotta watch out for that number 10 car. She's fast. She's showing speed today. She's gonna be the one in victory lane. Not even a half a lap later. Oh, there's trouble. Danica into the wall.
Just think, this all started with you saying, "Do you think Junior shows any bias?"
Yeah, exactly.
So Ryan,
go ahead.
I was gonna say the stage winners here, Ryan.
Yep, go ahead.
First stage was Kyle Busch. Second stage, John Hunter Nemechek. And your race winner was Christopher Bell. Your top 5, Christopher Bell, Daniel Hemrick, Kyle Busch, Justin Allgaier, and Cole Custer. What were you going to say, Ryan?
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought.
Oh, well, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Your notable finishers this week, 12th place, Elliott Sadler. 18th place, Jeremy Clements. And 20th place was Spencer Gallagher in his return to the Xfinity Series.
That's right, yeah. And then number 8, Ryan Reed.
Number 8, Ryan Reed, as Ryan had said earlier. Your standings.
For a non-restrictor plate track for Ryan Reed to get a top 10, it's been a minute, I think.
Roush Racing as a whole in the Xfinity Series to get a top 10.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't mean it in a negative way.
No, I know you don't. So,
so your playoff standings following Kentucky, not Kansas.
Oh, you got it right that time.
Christopher Bell, Justin Allgaier, Tyler Reddick, Daniel Hemrick, Elliott Sadler, Cole Custer, Brandon Jones, Ryan Truex, Matt Tifft, Austin Cindric, Ryan Reed, and Ross Chastain. Your next race is New Hampshire, Saturday, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern on NBCSN.
And that's a 300-mile race, it says?
I don't know. I think the Cup race is the 301.
Yeah, and then this is a 200-miler.
All right, moving on. We got the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. One of our regulars here on the live stream is a little bit happy about this, I would say.
Oh, no.
Your winner, and I say this in the best voice I can of you all know who. Your winner, Martin Truex Jr., MTJ.
Hey, I got it's not really a question, but since they've done the whole stages, who leads with the most?
It's like starting from last year?
Yeah, from last year.
Truex.
He's won every single stage at Kentucky.
Yeah, at Kentucky.
I'm saying they've got their car obviously dialed in for that track, but it's no tire strategy or anything. I mean, they've got it dialed in, man.
No, and the funny thing is, you mentioned tire strategy. Earlier on in this race, I think it was only 20 laps in, we saw our first couple guys dive on a pit road for tires. Oh, well, they caught up?
No, they didn't.
New tires didn't mean nothing Saturday.
I came home. We got home from the wedding. We were listening to it on the radio, and then we get home, and I think it was like towards the end of stage. It was like right before Bowman blew a tire and hit the wall. It's right when we got home, and then I watched it from there on out. And I love watching races, but there was just something about this race.
I just did. I wasn't the product on track. It wasn't the best I've seen all season, but it also wasn't the worst. Now,
what was your worst then?
I'm thinking back, trying to think of what race we said on this show. Like this was a snooze fest.
Atlanta?
No, it wasn't Atlanta because I was entertained by Atlanta.
Phoenix?
I wrote it down. I literally wrote it down in one of our shows. I'm going to have to go back and I'll tell you next week which one it was.
Okay.
So I remember writing it in my notes, like, most boring race of the season.
California?
Might have been, was it Vegas?
I enjoy Vegas.
It was either Vegas or California. I don't know right now.
Oh, so it was West Coast.
This race lacked, it lacked competition, I guess you could say. Besides Kozlowski, who took the lead probably 50 laps to go, he took the lead and eventually lost it to Truex, who was hard charging and just couldn't hold him off. That was the only battle I remember for the lead.
But there wasn't there wasn't much per se for the lead. So I tell you what, Cole Pern and them guys got something dialed in on that track.
When you look at this, the fact that Truex leads 174 of 267 laps in this race, it's like that's you just have to read that line and you kind of know what type of race this was. And it was just lap 1 to the checkered flag. Cole Pern, Martin Truex Jr. just had this track figured out, just like they did last season.
Yep.
And now it kind of seems like the Truex magic at the 1.5 miles is starting to come back again. It's making that swing, and that is a danger for Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, and the rest of the playoff field.
Well, let's find out when we have the next 1.5 miles. Darlington. Well, I guess you could say Darlington, maybe.
I still don't see the 78 winning at Darlington. When's that? 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
We got New Hampshire. We got New Hampshire this weekend. Then you go to Pocono. Then you go to Watkins Glen, which is always a fun race to watch, by the way. And then they go back out to Michigan International Speedway,
which you will be there for.
Yes, I will. Tickets. We got a special guest on the show right now.
I see that. So, Ryan, the most entertaining part of this weekend on the Cup side of it, I thought, started on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the interview initially with Kyle Busch when he was asked about what he thought about Stenhouse, the incident from last Saturday, and did Stenhouse call and give him any apologies or anything like that, and Kyle said no, he didn't expect him to, and blah, 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 blah. I'll never have to see him on the racetrack to even worry about it, those kind of things. And then Ricky snapped back, and I know since you're Team Ricky on this, and it still pains me to say I'm Team Kyle here, but I'm Team Kyle on this one. What did Ricky Stenhouse respond with, Ryan?
I didn't really see what he responded. I just said basically that he didn't think he had to, say anything to Kyle and everything like that because he said it, I guess, in the drivers' meeting or what was it, after Daytona. Like I said, I really didn't see much of what he said. I
was referring to the video that you tagged me in with Ricky Stenhouse.
I saw. I can't remember that far back, man. I drank all weekend. So, but you know what? It's a racing incident. Incidents happen. let bygones be bygones. Go out there on track and compete.
You know, there was a point in the race where Kyle and Ricky got next to each other. Stenhouse, way to prove Kyle's point of not ever having to be around. Because Kyle's lapping Stenhouse here, and they stayed like 5 car lengths away from each other.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no surprise at all.
I just think Roush as a whole, they're like minus their restrictor plates. There's nothing there.
No, and it's been that way for a couple seasons now.
Yep. Yeah, like, why is Stewart Haas, like Harvick, Boyer, multiple wins, Roush nowhere to be found.
Well, Hendrick is also nowhere to be found, Ryan.
That they are. Hendrick is nowhere to be found. Correct. Yes. I don't know.
Roush is they're behind a step, and they're behind a step of Hendrick, that means they're 2 steps behind everybody else.
Well, the thing with Hendrick too is I was watching NASCAR America, and I forgot who was on with Kyle Petty. It wasn't Pete Pistonian, I know that for a fact. It may have been, I'm not sure. But they're like, you got to think. Kyle Petty said this. Or no, actually, excuse me, take that back. On Facebook, DW was on a podcast. He's like, you got to think with Hendrick Motorsports, Jimmy being the old man out of the group, having all these young kids to fall back on, he can't do it. Like, you got to think. He had to fall back on Jeff Gordon, Casey Kane. There was notes from Dale Jr., everything underneath the sun. And now that Jimmy's the old man, he can't fall back on these young kids. I don't agree with much of what DW said there. I mean, Jimmy is a 7-time champion for a reason. Him and Czech can figure it out, and I'm sure they will.
Oh, they will, for sure.
The whole organization will figure it out. And once they do, I know keep saying this week in, week out, but if they do, watch out.
You know, I thought Hendrick showed really strong performance in Daytona, and they did not finish the race. But you got to think, at some point in that race, they were either all hooked up in the front, or one of them was leading the race. Exactly. So, in that kind of sense of the word, I know it's restrictor plate racing, and anyone can lead there, blah, 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 blah. But Hendrick showed promise there, and I feel like they took a step back this weekend. I mean, you think your highest finisher was the 9 of Elliott, and he couldn't. Oh, this past weekend? He got up to 10th, and that was the highest he could get.
He finished 13th.
I know, but I'm saying he got up to 10th at some point in the race. He finished stage 1, I think, in 10th, and he never got higher than that. Johnson. Yeah, I think his highest was 7th at one point. Mm-hmm. So they're still a step behind. Bowman blows a tire, gets into the wall, and I thought that was a hard impact. That Bowman had too. And if you think about it, if you look at the leaderboard of this race, following the race, only 3 cars didn't finish the race, and the only one that was out due to any collision or anything was Bowman. So I think Hendrick is kind of back in that trap again of when are they going to get out of this if they figure it out yet.
It's like, when are they going to get on track? Hopefully soon.
And they're coming up to some tracks that Jimmy's ran very well at.
Yes, they are.
New Hampshire not so much, but Michigan he runs well.
Oh yeah.
Watkins Glen, I always feel Jimmy's a factor at any road course you go to.
Then Pocono.
Pocono's another one. And
Bristol. Indy, Darlington. Indy. Yeah, he runs great at Indy, but so we'll wait and see what happens here. It's coming down to it though. What? Brickyard 400 is the last race to get in. So we're coming down to it.
3 of the 400 drivers are in the playoffs, but Ryan, going back to Kentucky, what a crowd we had this weekend. And I know I sent you a message Saturday night saying, do you see this crowd?
Yeah, weather was great. I mean, I think it was a good sized crowd. I thought so.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good crowd we had this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that say it's a dying sport, I show you Kentucky.
Yeah, I show you a couple other tracks too. Vegas is a good one. Watch Watkins Glen.
Yeah, I'm not so confident about
Watkins Glen sold out the last 4 years.
Adding on to our point, Patrick just said Jimmy's a factor anywhere. And
Thank you, Patrick.
That's the God's honest truth about it. And, but, I mean, it brings me back to this question of it. With the body change that Chevy had, are they really that much slower? Because the best Chevy guy week in, week out has been Larson. And even he's struggled a lot this season.
Mm-hmm.
So are the Chevys that much slower, or is it just everyone else has something figured out that they don't?
Is it the rule? We all know Ford's running the older body, and they're coming up next year to the Mustang. So
then I guess you can kind of find out next year to see where the Chevys really stand if they don't figure out anything this season.
Exactly.
But I mean, still, it's so disappointing.
It is very, especially being a Hendrick supporter right now.
You seem to be having trouble with the cat on you right now.
Yeah, it's Mr. Kitty.
So at this point in the season, Ryan, with Truex winning Kentucky, does it make him the championship favorite?
I still give it to Harvick.
I'm still picking Truex to win the championship. I think.
I'm giving it to Harvick.
I think Truex wins this championship because if he figures out the 1.5 miles again like he did last year, it's over. It is over.
Yeah, just because there's way too many 1.5 miles in the playoffs.
Exactly, it's an advantage of the schedule.
Yeah, which, oh man, I wish they would. I wish they would switch up the playoff races each year.
Kind of have like a rotating revolving door in a sense.
Yeah. Okay, if you're a playoff race, which the playoff starts mid-September.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the northern states, say in Michigan, Watkins Glen, throw the Watkins Glen in there. Dover. Hey, wait, Dover. They run in what, October again?
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that. It's mid-60s, so I'd be all right with that. You have to do it in the first 2 rounds. You can't wait till one of the final 4 races of the year to come to a northern state. But that's okay. You can flip-flop the schedule every single year.
You got Martinsville. It's in it.
Yeah, it would. Excuse me. I think it would attract more fans to the sport. Among other things as well, you'd see the stands full. Like, say, if this August race in Michigan was the first race of the playoffs, guarantee that place would be packed.
Well, I think Michigan's packed almost every time they go there, it seems, in recent years. I mean, when you went a couple weeks ago, it looked pretty packed.
Yeah, and people said the sport's dying. Some idiot for ESPN. I'm like, okay, the weather had a lot to do with the factor. Cloudy, overcast, moisture.
I'll tell you, I don't read too much into people saying NASCAR is a dying sport.
I don't either.
Obviously, whoever's saying that doesn't watch week in and week out. Is just a casual fan. Ticket prices, hotel prices. We beat this horse to death.
Yes, we have, and then
you don't see as many asses and seats as we used to.
The struggling economy too. I mean, you got to think though.
Who could afford, sometimes twice a year,
yeah, exactly,
$100+ race tickets?
Exactly. I mean, the tickets we got in June were, with fees and all of that, over $125, I think, a person, which we had no problem. It was $89, and then with all the taxes and everything like that. And then in the August race, I went and moved down, down turn 1, a little bit cheaper of a ticket, and then go from there.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I don't.
Between tickets, concessions, parking, hotels.
Parking's free at MIS. It is included in the ticket, though. I think that's the thing.
Well, Daytona's got that lot 7 that I was telling you all about last
Yeah.
week. But regardless, I mean, $60 to park your car.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think though too at $80. All right. Let's do a little math here on the Loose Lugs podcast. Sorry, I got to get the calculator out, folks. Say we have a family of 4 and they're spending $89 in tickets. We'll times that by 4. That's $356 alone right there. Not to mention the taxes on the ticket. So you're probably looking close to $400, possibly, depending on what track it is. Plus the hotel. When we went to Bristol, we stayed at, what the heck was that name of that hotel? It was in Kingsport, Tennessee. Awesome city. Ever go on vacation, anything like that. Very nice restaurants. Beautiful city. Super 8 or something like that. First night we got there, which was Thursday night, it was $60. It rose up $100+ to stay there. That is why, like we said, we beat it to death. It's unreal though that people want to bash it. But if you do something when the race is on at Michigan, look at the infield. Look how packed the Michigan International Speedway infield is.
Yeah, and that kind of goes for a lot of tracks. Just look at the infield.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you can't tell me the sport ain't dying because you take all those people that are in the infield, put them in the grandstands, you have a packed house.
Well, of course.
So, Ryan, your stage winners here.
Yep.
Stage
I
1,
think I know the one.
Martin Truex Jr. Stage 2, Martin Truex Jr. And Stage 3, your race winner was
Yeah, what's that guy's name? Oh, the guy I picked to win.
Michael McDowell?
No, I didn't pick him to win it.
Martin Truex Jr.
That's right.
Your race winner. Your top 5, Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, and Kevin Harvick. Your notable finisher, 7th place, last week's winner, Eric Jones, 11th place, Clinton Boyer, and 26th place, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Really?
And Ramon, a friend of yours and I's, said $60 for parking with a bunch of question marks. Yeah, $60 for parking. That's on the low end.
I know there's some tracks that do the free parking. Michigan International Speedway is one of them that has free parking all throughout the lots. Bristol has a couple free spots, but there's other lots that charge like $25, $30. No, it's just
free. One lot is free. The rest you have to pay for, and those range from 40 to 60 to 80. I saw them as high as.
And how far is this lot 7 you speak of from the
Dude, it don't
the
matter
track?
how far away it is because you get on one of these school buses, they shuttle you in on, and you're there in 3 minutes.
Did somebody just say 3 minutes? Sorry, old wrestling term. So
yeah. So what? I'll just explain it. You park in lot 7. It's about a mile from the track.
That's not
they
too
have
bad.
A bunch of every school bus in Daytona is lined up here, and they shuttle you in to the track. They take these back trails and take you right to the front gates. You get off,
no kidding.
After the race, you hop back on, takes you all the way back.
Now, how long is the line waiting in to get on to the trams?
Getting on, not long.
Yeah.
The only time you ever stand, you literally, as soon as you walk up to the bus, there's already a bus waiting for you to.
Oh wow, that's
because it's constantly moving. You're never really having to stand in a line, except for after the race when everyone's all together.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing with MIS. Like when you're going in because we park on the backstretch, and you can walk all the way around to the main gates, the trailer area, concessions, and all that. But they got it so messed up now because the country festival that Jeff's setting up this weekend's out there. The organization bought a piece of land that was normally great primo parking right by the tram. So they moved the tram service down. So everything got messed up last year about it. But they had it fixed out in June, though, which was really good. But we take a little tram into the right over by turn 1, walk right in, go to the concessions, the trailers, all that good stuff. And we're into the speedway. Little line after the race, obviously.
I'll ride my bike.
Good job, Ramon. Yeah, I like it. Ride my bike.
Your standings following Kentucky: Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Clint Boyer, Joey Logano, Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Eric Almirola, Jimmy Johnson, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman. Your next race is New Hampshire, Sunday, 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern on NBCSN.
It's a long race, too, for 300 miles.
Long race. That was a long gas and go. that was an hour-long gas and go.
That was pretty long.
Ryan, we got some news to go over this week, including the Charlotte Roval test. Let's get into some tire rep.
All right.
Left side. Pull this left fender out, left side.
All right, we had the NASCAR Roval test today, and my opinion, it was a disaster.
Yeah, you can say disaster, yes. Clint Boyer is not a fan that it's the final race in round 1 of the chase.
Ryan, let me just put it this way. Bowman. Byron.
Yep.
Blaney.
Yep.
All got into wrecks today.
Eric Jones.
Or entering turns.
Yep.
Byron's brakes failed, and Blaney
can't do anything.
Blaney and Bowman broke loose. Now, this race is Talladega. Take away the 200 miles an hour and the bump drafting and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Put it at slower speeds and on a road course. I mean, this is what this is going to turn into.
I tell you what. With all this traction compound and all this other crap they put on the track, don't be surprised if they do it at the Roval.
Ryan, today's test was a disaster, and I can't wait for the race.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's where I'm at with it. I think it's going to be awesome.
Clint Boyer's he's like, this is going to be a wreck-filled event.
I think so, too. I've been saying that.
Well, you got to think. I like the fact they're trying something new. Don't get me wrong, change is good. People wanted a road course in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. This is the road course you get.
And I can't wait.
Yep. Joey Logano did say something interesting too, because he went after he was done testing, right before lunchtime. I guess he went up into the stands, and he's like, "This is great. You're at a road course, but you can see everything from the stands."
Yeah, it's a compact road course, is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's gonna be so much fun.
It is.
I know people who don't watch NASCAR at all.
Yeah, they're ready for this race.
I've shown the Roval, and they've said, I can't wait to watch. So, if it draws more people watching, I am all for it.
Yeah, I am too. I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be interesting. I know they're going to do something with the track because they said they were so slick right there. They're thinking about new tires because some of the teams got blisters on their tires. And so we'll wait and see what they decide to do.
By the way, in the All-Star game, home run Aaron Judge.
Oh, nice. My fantasy driver.
So
Waldo just said something.
Yeah, I saw the message pop up on the corner of my screen, and I looked up at the TV just to see it.
Nice.
And it was a shot.
I tell you what, though. I like this Roval. We can make or break. I mean, who's that driver? Who's that driver that's going to be just on the cusp of getting into round 2 of the playoffs?
Like, could it be right on that bubble line?
Yeah. Could it be one of the big 3 as they've been talking about as I show the ring again?
And then, Ryan? And
then
we have Talladega all over again.
Yep.
The same reason why drivers are complaining about Talladega is going to be the same reason they complain about the Roval.
Yep.
Ryan, this is a news article I saw today that kind of intrigued me a little bit. Are paint
Alright.
schemes affecting inspection? Certain...
Oh, man.
Apparently, will give you an advantage on the laser inspection.
Are you serious?
That was the article I read. If you want to read it, go to JSki, click on the headline, and read the entire article for yourself. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, I
makes
bet.
the car more narrow, apparently, according to them.
Makes more narrow. Okay. That's news to me. It's like if I go to Taco Bell, am I eating authentic Mexican food? I love Taco Bell. We all know that. But honestly, really?
Yeah, that's... When I saw that, I chuckled. And I saw it at 7 o'clock this morning, and I couldn't help but laugh at it.
Did you see the penalties that were handed down from Kentucky?
I did not. Let's go over penalties real quick after... I just want to point this out there. Mountain Dew and Hendrick extend for 2 more years together. And same thing with Chad Canals and Hendrick Motorsports, 2 more years. So I guess Jimmy's got 2 more years at Hendrick. I like Mountain Dew extending, being a Hendrick Motorsports fan. The only downside of that is you won't get any Monster Energy gear or logos on any of their gear.
No, you won't.
But tell us the penalties for the Kentucky weekend, Ryan.
I had them. I tried to tag you on them. I think it was the... let me try to search this up. I should have did something. So, how about that Aaron Judge home run? No, I'm trying to find this right now. So,
well, while you find it out, I'm going to go through some social media real quick, Ryan.
All right, go ahead.
All right, we are up to 623 downloads on iTunes, Podbean, and Stitcher. 227 followers on Twitter, 58 likes on Facebook, 19 subscribers on YouTube. Some new follower shout-out. Racing podcast at wrecking_racing. And we have NASCAR on the fly at NASCAR OTF. Thank you for the follows. Our podcast shout-outs this week: the Lap Traffic Podcast, the PTM Podcast, the My Opinion and Therefore Fact Podcast, the All Turns No Brakes Podcast, the Bump and Run Podcast, Right Sides Only Radio, the 3 Wide Podcast, NASCAR Opinion and Creditcast, and a new one this week, the Side Draft Podcast, which in-depth go over NASCAR Xfinity and Truck Series races. Some places you can find us: Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, follow. Set it so that every one of our episodes downloads to your phone so you can listen to us whenever. Set up the notification bell so you know whenever we record a new episode or go live by searching in the Loose Lugs Podcast on Twitter. We are at Lugs Podcast, and you can tweet us about the show using the hashtag LugsPod. On Facebook, we are the Loose Lugs Podcast, and our personal Twitter accounts, myself, Grey Goose F150, and Ryan.
R. Rencola 88.
All right, Ryan.
Looks like Kyle Larson, maybe? No, I don't think so. I can't find it. Where the hell is it? Oh, I can't find them right now. It was just all they were was the loose lugs, the infractions. So I can't remember what teams they were, but come on, guys, tighten them lugs.
There's some enthusiasm from Ryan.
That's right, tighten them lugs, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the podcast shout-out this week.
Yes.
Ryan, we've come to the point of the program where it is time for your weekly rant. Ryan, what do we got this week?
Well, first of all, I must say, man, does it feel weird to be married? Not really weird, but...
Different.
Thank you, that's the word I was looking for. So, we were talking about this earlier in the episode about this tire dragging 4 tires on the back of a tractor, try to add another groove to these racetracks. I understand they're trying to make the racing more competitive for fans, more entertaining, so to speak, as after we saw this past weekend at Kentucky, especially Sunday in the Cup race, it was a one-groove racetrack, and it has been a one-groove racetrack. Stop stop with the repaves. The drivers love Atlanta the way it is, and now they want to repave Atlanta, or there is a vote on it still. Atlanta wants to get the repave. The drivers don't want it repaved. Stop messing with these tracks. When they did the repave at MIS, cars are flying. They're now going 220 miles an hour going into... Go ahead.
Did you notice when cars would go out of the groove that the tire drag created, what was happening?
No, I got loose a lot.
They were sliding all over the place.
Yeah, like they're on ice and snow.
Yeah. There's a reason this tire dragging to me doesn't work, and it doctors racetracks in a sense of it's not how racing is supposed to be. You show up on any racing surface, you expect it to perform.
I mean, like I said, I understand why the team on my shirt, what they're trying to do. I understand that. I get that. Let the drivers go out there and race on what is given to them. Michigan was a one-groove racetrack ever since they did the repave. Now we got a third lane coming now, and man, the racing's getting good out there. I'm excited for August, a couple weeks from now. But NASCAR, please stop messing with our tracks. Agreed. Like I said, I do understand why they're doing it. They want to get the fans the money that they paid for the ticket. Understand that. Also, Sunday we went over to my cousin's daughter's third birthday. So came home after and caught the tail end of the Toronto Indy Grand Prix on NBCSN. Saw that I follow Lee Diffie on there, and I tweeted out, I'm like, hey, great job. You guys did an awesome job on the broadcast. Liked my tweet, and I told him, I'm like, the call you did with the Kyle Larson pass on Martin Truex at MIS was spectacular. I was at that race. I recorded it, and I still have it recorded. He's like, oh, thanks, man, for the praise. And I'm like, hey, anytime.
Cheers.
Yes, cheers. And people knock him because he's not.
I thought he was good.
American.
I thought he was good.
No, I'm glad NBC's got the rights now for Indy.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I agree with you there.
But I tell you, like I said, enough with messing with these tracks. I mean, if you want to mess with these tracks, okay, go back to old Bristol. Stop putting that stupid traction compound down. Like the year it was the year Carl Edwards won. It felt like we were watching Talladega, 3-4 wide at Bristol. No, it's not Bristol. Bristol's meant to be a one-lane track for a reason. Mm-hmm. I think I want to run. Nope, I want to run high. Nope, I want to run the bottom. Nope, now I want to run high. No, please stop messing with the tracks. I don't know if you want to add anything on that, but
no, dude, I'm right there with you on it. I've said my piece on it. I hate doctoring racetracks. I hate making it something it's not. You have to do it yourself, building the groove as a driver. None of this where NASCAR goes through and makes it easier for you guys. You got to break in the track yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's BS to me. I agree with you.
Add more practice times if they want to put rubber down on the track. Don't let some track employee, hey, go get in your John Deere there and get out there and put that tire thing down on that truck there now, you hear? Because that's what they do. They're like, hey, oh, thank you. They're like, no, get out there, run that dragon around 100 times. It's not working. Yeah, a B+ for effort.
Yeah.
So.
I'm not a fan of it. You're not a fan of it. I think we're pretty spot on together with that one.
It's like the whole yellow line.
Oh, geez. We're not going to get you started again on it.
No, we're not getting me started.
Ryan, let's get to the white flag here. Let's predict what's going to happen this weekend.
Danica Patrick will miraculously show up.
Tight, keep looking the mirrors. In line with you, coming to the white. Only two.
All right, so we got some predictions here for Eldora and New Hampshire. Of course, Truex or in Eldora, I went with Stuart Friesen because I can't go with, or I have to go with a Truck Series regular. I was going to go with Ryan Newman. I really was.
That's even though he is driving for Jordan Anderson, and I don't think Anderson's ever driven on dirt, has he? That's why they put Newman in the truck.
And Newman was his childhood hero.
Yeah, so that it works out both ways.
It works awesome. Out both. That story's awesome.
Yeah, it works out both ways for Jordan Anderson. Hey, my childhood hero is driving my truck on dirt, which I've never raced on before. Mm-hmm. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think I'm going to stick with Brett Moffitt. Throw a long shot out there. Maybe Matt Crafton gets it done again on the dirt.
I don't see that happening, by the way. I don't see Crafton getting it again.
I don't know. Has he been practicing?
Who knows? After last season, I don't think he has to worry about it again. He's already won.
No, yeah, he's won one. Some does.
What about the Xfinity, Ryan? We're in New Hampshire for the Xfinity Series. Who are you picking there?
Man, Xfinity, New Hampshire, slow, mile, flat. Give me Elliott Sadler.
Okay. I'm going with Cole Cussner.
All right. Good pick.
On the Cup side of things, Ryan, I'm going in. This is where breaking down New Hampshire becomes easy.
Okay.
This is a Joe Gibbs racing track.
Okay.
They dominate here.
All right.
I'm taking a Joe Gibbs driver who hasn't won this year. Give me Denny Hamlin as my pick.
You feeling all right?
A little warm, but...
Okay. All right. Well, you do live in Florida. Who's your dark horse?
My dark horse is my super dark horse. Fuel mileage is what I'm thinking about.
Okay. Good
Ryan
answer.
Newman.
He does. He runs the modifieds there whenever they're there. So, yeah, he does run good there. All right, AJ. I'm going to throw a shot in the dark at this. But the man from Michigan, Brad Keselowski, gets it done, goes to victory lane, holds that big lobster up, gets it done. For my dark horse, oh man, the dark horse is such a
It's a tough track.
It is.
I found this is a really tough track to make picks on.
Give me Joey Logano. I'll take both Penske cars.
Oh, going for the Penske tandem. Not a Ryan Blaney I'm surprised about.
Yeah, he does run good there too, but Joey's won there. Brad likes these flat tracks. So, but yeah.
I honestly, with the one race I'm looking forward to this weekend is Eldora.
Oh,
that is. I can't wait for tomorrow night for that thing to start.
Yeah, don't they have like all the pre stuff on the?
They sure do.
Let me get to my guide here, so I'll let because the actual race itself doesn't start till 9. But I know they got the qualifying races on, which are always fun to watch. Right here, 4 o'clock till 4:30 to 6 p.m. You got qualifying on. Then you have the another qualifying at 7 to 8:30, all on Fox Sports 1. Thank you. Because last year wasn't on the business channel.
Yes, it was.
Or something like that. And then the Dirt Derby starts at 9 o'clock on FS1. Sorry I took your news for you, but...
No, you're fine. You're fine. Brian, what more is there to cover today? I think we hit it all on the head.
Yeah, but the best part, like I said, the best part about this dirt race is they stick to the dirt tradition.
That they do.
Like when Sarah and I go up to Merritt, they do the, 2 cars out on the track at one time. One goes, the other guy comes out, run two cars at one time, gets everybody through, come out, they water down the track, dampen it up, do your qualifying races. After that, you're set to go for your main event features.
Yes, sir. All right, Ryan.
Man.
It has been a weird episode, to say the least, because it started off a little bit later than usual, off to a rocky start.
Oh, yeah.
But with that being said, I think it's time to sign off here.
Yeah, for a race that, party weekend for me there. But, yeah, did a great episode, AJ. I think I'm going to hit him with it. guys, if you guys are going to Eldora tomorrow night or New Hampshire this weekend, have a blast. Enjoy the races, guys. Have a great weekend. We will see you guys at the track. Hold it up one more time.
Special thanks goes out to Tony, Brandon, Ramon, Patrick. Thanks for chatting with us in our live stream chat here on YouTube. Everyone else who tuned in live, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Tomorrow, Mud Summer Classic. This weekend, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, the Red Lobster.
Have a wicked good time at the track. We'll catch you next week.
Wonder why I can't feel